The rant. Glenn's got nothing, so I'm leading out, but it was a most exalted performance from you at the back end of Rose Hill on Saturday, Glenn.
Yeah, I did manage to find most exalted on top from the parade. Look, I was really keen on the previous show because I remember as a young horse, I thought it was bad Glenned a few times, and I think I've been proven right. He's a horse with a sprint. Got to be ridden right.
You know, you could argue he was bad Andrew Atkinson on the weekend as well, but still ended up getting the chocolates.
He got the chocolates. The protest, guys, I thought it was I'm delighted it was upheld. And to be on the right side of a protest my way, like
unheard of.
Fucking what a weird feeling that was. But you watch the video and look, Sydney stewards, guys out there, Sydney stewards, they don't like when a horse is checked, but what they'll upheld every time is if the horse that is actually checked and loses its chance, if it makes ground to the line, even though the margin was just a bit over just under half a length, if they see that the horse that's taken out then flashes, they uphold. If it's checked and then they can go like that to the line, get a bad check, you think the check costs half a length and gets beaten a neck, they'll dismiss.
The horse was checked back to near last. Like,
but
I'm definitely holding that.
Oh, what I'm saying is though, if Bowman doesn't check and Most Exalted gets its deserved running, I'm not sure if it wins the race. Because there's still a horse in front of it.
How did it even do what it did, which is it's last at the 200
and then win
and somehow run second?
I don't know. And full credit to Andrew Adkins for not giving. I
giving up because
I potted him about a month ago. Man, he really punched that right to the wire to find second spot.
How many times do you see a jockey cop a bad check like that and just give up on the whole race and just hands and heels behind him to the line?
Yeah.
And he actually didn't.
And he comes out the next race and something pays $25.90 a place. We haven't seen that on a tote board in a year. And A. Adkins, so he's a keen bean at the moment, young A. Adkins. A lure I'm talking about, but not saying it's a horse to follow, but just A. Adkins. But
he did,
I thought it was an interesting. If I was on Wild and Famous, I'd be sick. Because of the if.
Look, he took his running.
Yeah.
The horse, to do what it did, seemed capable of winning the race easily. You're querying whether the horse would have won the race. I've got no doubt in my mind. The only doubt was whether he legitimately took his run or illegitimately took his run.
Bowman definitely took his run. I agree with that. But what I'm saying is, if that horse got into that run, does it win the race?
Oh, I see what you're saying. It's in the wrong position to win the race.
All of a sudden it's in checkmate, whereas Bowman is then got the run, and then there's a horse here. What?
Okay, that's fair enough. But as far as the stewards are concerned, you're actually not going to ask them to look at that. Because they're never.
Well, they do look at things like that.
They're never going to look at that.
But what about the protest?
Supposedly their line is, but however much it costs the horse, the interference, if the margin is less than that on the line, you reverse the decision. Well, you upheld.
What was the Joe Pride horse that Bowman rode and checked, and they said the other horse was involved in it?
Yeah,
they do look at other horses.
Wasn't that good time, Charlie?
Yeah, and the horse that should have won was
the Parrot Palladium.
Look, interesting protest, a really interesting protest. I was cheering like you can't, I went out and I listened to Mr. Dingwall's, because they have the live protest on the outside screen with all the talk. No one knows about it.
Right.
Like I knew it was upheld when people were still betting on it. And he said, we are going to uphold the projection. I could have jumped through that screen and covered my body in oil with Dingwall and just rubbed him all over. Fuck, I was excited.
I was disappointed that Hetty Heights didn't hold on for second, because then I would have won. That was my better result.
Well, that would have...
Okay, if Hetty Heights runs second, do you think they uphold the protest?
Yes.
No way,
yeah,
no.
They do. Well,
no way, no.
So
third against first, they wouldn't have upheld.
Hey, what? No. If they uphold the protest on Saturday, if Most Exalted runs third, they definitely uphold the protest. And Hetty Heights,
I reckon,
is the most undeserving winner you've ever seen. But that's what happens.
What a game it is! What a game it is! Mr. Dingwall has said, "I'm going to uphold the objection," and I was there going, "He's going to up," because my brain's thinking, at least he's used the word uphold. That's got to be good. But if he upholds the objection, does that mean he's dismissing the I've got it all wrong. You know, I got confused.
Just like in court when
and then he said, I'm going to change the numbers to 9. Most Exalted said, that sounds all right to me. And then I ran inside and people are going, 5-2 most exalted, 5-2.
Yeah.
But both
Fair income.
I saw 3-1 most exalted in the betting ring.
What?
On the illegal side of betting, which the stewards don't know anything about and don't need to.
It's
Fair
kind of like, you
income.
know when you're in court and the judge goes, I fine for the plaintiff?
Yeah.
And people are like,
It's like the
"Is that
castle.
me?"
It's like the castle.
Yeah.
The castle goes, yeah, beauty. No, that's not us. That's exactly what I was like. Oh, geez, it was exciting. But anyway, look, full credit to Adkins to getting in the second spot, and full little bit of credit there because I listened to Huey a bit. He just wanted to get to the Kokoda Trail. He'd won the premiership. He didn't go.
That's right. So the stewards gave him 2 weeks. He was going to be taking those 2 weeks either which way.
What's outrageous? How does he get like 2 weeks when the whole world knows he's going away for 10 days?
Yeah.
How do you get 2 weeks?
It's look, I think that's outrageous. The betting fluctuations on the winner, Glenn, 19 on Friday into 7, back out to 19.
Yeah, 24's on the fair. I thought it was a horse of ability. It walked past Gordy and me, and I said, look at most exalted. It's just going to win. And I'd only tipped the one winner prize, so I finished with most exalted and philosopher to give me 3 on top and won at $18. All my buyers, they don't mind a winner when it's at $18. I know that.
Can you back a runner out of that race ever again?
No, you can never back some horses in that race. Heady,
But I mean,
never
what
back.
I'm saying is what most exalted was able to do is it follows the pearl of the flashing light runner, mars the form on the remainder, and
I don't think Mogador got a shot on at any stage.
Mogador is that word that TQ doesn't like us using. Mogador's got a chink.
Okay.
It's got a
It
chink.
wasn't given.
I could back Embley out of the race. Dragged back to last,
Well-
low collar, made the best ground of the line.
yeah, look, it didn't have a lot of opportunity. Look, it's a slur on all horses in that race. Obviously, you're making exceptions there, which are
The
not
massive
unreasonable.
slur was, wouldn't it be nice, circumnavigating the field and getting with the length of the lead at the 150 metre meet and dropping that to run last. But there's little yellow, black Perry colours, little wouldn't it be nice, just chiming in like, guys, Saturday just opened my eyes. Like, here's a perfect example, but the most perfect example of horses with big ratings is Jason Coyle's Berry Delicious.
Yep.
The previous start, it was 50s, and it sort of joined in and went straight past Gold Symphony, beat to half a length, and then it goes to the next race, which is the lead up to that, and it's 50s again, and there it is, gets beaten 2 lengths. There's like no race for these type of horses. There's just no race because of their rating. Are we going to finally get over this? Trainers, everyone sees 60 kilos. Oh, scratch, can't run them because they got 60. Like, if I had Berry Delicious, I'd want to put in Wednesday Canterbury 50-50 with 68 kilos.
Yeah. And they can run in those races.
And
There's nothing to stop them from running in those races.
The people who got Berry Delicious got a terrific horse that puts in all the time, that never places and is always 50s. And runs
They're
great.
running him the wrong. Look, any horse that runs around at 50s is in the wrong race.
Do the tape on Berry Delicious the last 2 runs and just go, wow, but its racing pattern, its style, its weight, even when it gets Kath off, it's not gonna pay its way. So can't you drop it right back in class to like a 72, put up with 65 kilos and send it round? But when are we going to start seeing that happen? Gosh, I'd be doing that if I had. I think
what these guys are thinking is, if we can't make it on a Saturday in Sydney, we'll go to Brisbane. It's almost like they can't bear the shame of coming back to Wednesday in City.
Why? It's a prize money.
Because they just can't bear the shame of it. You know, I've got a Saturday horse.
Berry Delicious might go into a 6-horse race at Canterbury of 66 kilos and shit in.
I think it's the weight that's a deciding factor. They're obsessed with it.
They can't handle the horse coming 66?
No.
Yeah, I can't handle it.
When we start owning horses in 10 years, I'm going to send them around with 70 kilos.
What do you mean? We've got a share in a horse. We've got a share in a horse going to start running in a few months' time.
It's exciting. Lope de Vega. Every time I look up, there's a Lope de Vega somewhere. You dig a fat chick postie, don't you? Like, how are you a walking postie and a big chick? How's that work?
Oh, well, maybe she's deliberately chosen that job.
All right, we'll keep you up to date with the fat chick postie chick. I've seen her a few times, Jenny. Wow.
Models. You made mention of the last race and Allura flashing home from near the tail of the field.
Well, I made mention of Andrew Atkins more than anything.
I know, but isn't that a pox on that race as well, or was there an amazing fast lane come the back of the program where, like, Allura was 200 to 1, had no credentials, and was somehow able to run third? Was it a super fast lane? Is this race just the pox?
I'd say the pox, Marcus.
I'm going the pox.
Okay, Gord, you were very keen on the winner, and Corey Brown rode a well-judged race, whereas I'd say Avdallah perhaps got itchy fingers too soon?
I've made my money now. That's it.
Right.
Doubt I'll be back in that next start philosophy.
I like
And-
when you make your money
and-
and bank it and forget about it.
Rebe Rampart was an expected leader, was it?
Not by me, but
It bled.
I bled, did it?
Yeah, it bled. But there it was, taking it up, and a long time ago, who was ridden by Ian Hayward. Now here's the rub, right? Kay McAvoy can't ride. He's not riding at the program, and all the available riders have been used up. Why? But there was a rider available that couldn't make the weight, H. Bowman. Why can't one of the top weights go, well, we'll take H. Bowman and we'll give our rider to a long time ago?
Oh, what, do a dip? Well, you can't do that.
Why not?
Well, you just can't, because people bet early they want their rider on it.
Well, I'm saying
what do
that okay.
What are you saying? Corey Brown goes off philosophy
No,
a
no,
long time
well,
ago,
yeah.
and then Bowman goes on a philosophy.
Yep.
That's what about the people that back philosophy because they follow Corey Brown?
What about the people that backed a long time ago because Karen was riding it?
Well, you can't make two lots of people suffer.
I'm saying that Kay McAvoy to Ian Hayward is unacceptable.
Well, then she'll be scratched. That's the plan.
I'm sure Gay wants to run the horse.
Well, she's going to ride her.
Look, I'm saying that there was available rider. They just need to shuffle the riders around.
I know what you're saying, but I'm saying
Because
you can't do
it's
that.
not true that there's no available rider. All right.
Okay,
Well, why don't we put
mate.
why don't we put H. Bowman on?
All right. Well, okay. I'll give you.
Why don't
this.
we put H. Bowman on a long time ago? 1 kilo over. He can ride at 56.
That's more acceptable.
That's not acceptable.
It's like saying the US Open's on, right? Tiger Woods on -11. Glenn Pollock's he's qualified. He's on +22. I'll take Tiger's score. Just to even the field. It doesn't make sense, your theory.
I think it does. I know.
Email us
I
and
know.
what do you think?
You're
I know, I
unhappy.
think it's wrong.
You're unhappy.
I'm not with it either. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 2. All about
I'm
opinions.
happy with the riding a kilo over.
I'm happy with the riding a kilo over. I'm more happy with that horse being scratched than Nick Hayward being on it. If I've backed it. I'm happy with money back. It's like when a horse is reshod. You want your money back?
Well, that's vexing. Okay, did you know? Did you know that Miss Parkin was replated when she arrived on course?
No, I did not know that.
Right. So
No.
that's your theory again, isn't it?
Did you know that Sticky Beak of all Sticky Beaks, the caller, announced all the changes on the day when I was at the racecourse, 57 minutes before the first, and I was the only person on the racecourse.
Yeah, right.
Oh, here's today's changes. I was just standing there going, well, fuck, shut up. I'm the only one here. I appreciate it, but I'd like the punters to know. Good old Sticky Beak. Sticky Beaks.
I've got a question. So a long time ago, he did run around with 53 or 55. Is he allowed to take the claim when it's a change of job?
I don't think he's allowed to.
Yeah, that's a good question. Gordon.
That's a good question, but I don't think he's allowed to. Just quickly getting back to Rebe Rampart, how does it open up $7.50, get to 22s in the fair, and listen to me, and forget about Bag Glen, even though I think there was a bit of Bag Glen there, but let's just put that to the side, but it bleeds, and then on the Wednesday, Sabrarian, who's hard as you like at $7, and $7.20 and $7 Sabrarian trained by Gay Waterhouse, and then all of a sudden, bang, $15 and dies in the run. It died, Sabrarian.
Too clever, Betfair.
Is there a vet working in Betfair? Like, what the fuck? How does I want to see one horse firm off the map and die in the run. It never happens. But all these horses that bleed and fucking die, which make, the thought of Sabrarian dying makes everyone so upset. Oh, I don't have to ever do its form again. What a fucking colossus result it is.
Yeah, I don't know. You know how sometimes we always focus on the negative, like, remembering the times when...
Is that what it is, you think?
Well, because it could just be an anomaly that... But I did think that, but...
Surely
I
most
also
horses
checked
blow.
myself.
Most horses blow, don't they? Isn't it just...
What if there's a real blow at Mr. Start 2 lengths? It's like... Can it tell us who's going to win the next election? Oh, well, there's only 2 hopes, guys, but...
All right, so aside from... So we've pretty much covered the last 2 races. How do you think Rosehill played, Glenn?
I thought pretty good.
Yeah, it seemed to play very fairly. Gord was keen to back horses with soft draws,
Yeah, I was keen on inside barrier.
which I would argue against, but
They
they certainly...
Didn't Christian Reef ride Clear the Beach well?
I don't think it controlled.
So he rode it well.
Oh, okay.
What happens, he got the lead, he looked at it, and the other one got him covered then, so he just let it go to 3/4 the front, and then he just straightened up, and he rode it really well.
Did you know that the instructions on why to claim were to sit outside the lead?
I don't recall knowing that. Why?
No one knew. other than when she was interviewed, her instructions were to be outside the lead, right? Which is why she was trying to restrain the horse when the horse wanted to go to the lead.
Oh, I'm with you. And then she's...
Right, so the steward said, no, you just should have gone to the lead, which she should have done. Because actually, they didn't go very hard. It wasn't as if Reith was deliberately holding her out. Panya was deliberately trying to stay outside the lead.
Because she's following instructions, she's a girl and she's got claims 2 kilos.
Understand.
So there's understandable thoughts there. What I did find funny in the steward's report was the mentioning of Colesberg in the first race, which is just most outrageous commentary by the stewards. They were asking why the change in tactics today. And Dave Payne said, well, look, when we won our first race, we came from last, and we bloused down the outside. And then the second run, first up, it was nice and fresh. It raced OSL, which was contrary to instructions. I wasn't happy about it, and the horse didn't put in. Today we went back to the original, and they said, look, you've changed tactics. Like, it's having its third start. How's that a change of tactics? That's ridiculous commentary by the stewards, and very silly of them. Because that horse, you can tell, all Payne's horses like to get a smother and flash. The fact that it was OSL first up, the horse is fresh. It's a talented horse, actually, especially for that stable. And the previous run when it did win was it did come from behind. So I thought they were a bit harsh on D. Payne.
Right, so
you shouldn't have to let them know everything, should you?
The stewards just don't get it, okay? So we're sitting here frustrated by all bits and pieces of racing when the bits and pieces don't get it. And the stewards are unfortunately one of the group. They have some clues, but they don't have... We wish them to have more clues.
And I suppose if they had more clues, they'd be grabbed by gambling syndicates. And
they wouldn't be stewards.
They wouldn't be stewards.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so the first race, the 2-year-olds have run quite decent time. They're about to turn 3, but I mean, at 1500, you're not expecting them to run any sort of time. They've gone all right as far as times go. The winner was strongly spruiked and tight in the market. It's got a future.
I think so. Well, it's nice. It's on a Saturday race. I mean, it's sat there 6-2 out on a Saturday race.
It had to earn its win, didn't it? It didn't like get... Runaway, I failed to spot because... I don't know why I failed to spot, but I mean, it was a classic Gay lead from a wide draw. Going to be hard to get past. It was a deserved second and a deserved second pick.
The horse that went ordering is Condor. It did not do anything. You were quite right in your Perry.
Yeah, but it's barrier one's just like it just doesn't work. For
Rory,
horses, you know?
Rory pulled up sick after the event, and he.
So he didn't make it to Gosford for the last quartermaster.
He wouldn't have. I don't think he did.
I'll have to check that one out because
apparently he pulled up sick. Like he was ill after the event, which doesn't sound like
to ride at 56.5.
Possibly, maybe he was just like rat shit.
Colesberg, Glenn, you mentioned him before, but how do you place Colesberg given that David Payne...
You never back David Payne.
Yeah, so it's just...
You just never back him. And then when they're fresh and got a bit of ability and they're in a 1400 metre, they're a 2000 metre horse, and they're 30s, you have 100 each way or 50 each way because they can knock you out, but you don't back David Payne ever until all of a sudden one day he trains a double and you back him for that week.
Okay.
Because that's what he does.
That's a pearl from Pollitt. Almighty, you were keen on from the parade yard. Has he got anything, or is it next prep? Or
Snowden horse is just parading so well. $17. I put it on top. Obviously looking for plenty of value there. I managed to, butter up the place, and I was glad it held off Colesberg. I thought it went as well as it can go. It's a limited horse.
Race 2, the key from the parade was Rockefeller, who was not wanted at all. Clearly, the parade was not
his way. I took him at $6 before the parade. I came back, laid him at $6.80 on the fair, and then when he got to $8 in the ring, I didn't want to back him, and I marked him 7-2. So I marked him 7-2 prior to seeing him.
Yep.
Put a line through him. I wouldn't have taken 72 to 1.
Mm. So what's his program? When should we be interested in him?
Couple more runs, guys. Maybe third up, maybe fourth up.
Because I never like.
I don't like it when horses come back and do nothing, even if they are unfit. I'm pretty.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, and
especially young horses.
And I think the way that Sydney horses are trained these days, to come back so unfit is a black mark against the horse. The betting was strongly targeting difficult to get, which I must say was a clever move.
Yeah, because difficult to get 4.60 in this race looks absurd. If you reprice after the race, you're probably going to mark it 7-2. They did bet $8. They nearly got there. It's a typical wet track horse racing well on dry tracks. It's super fit, but limited.
Yeah, but she's got Saturday credentials. She's had a couple of Saturday runs, and and she was there. Should Wider Claim spoil Clear the Beach, I suppose, is it what? You know.
How would Wider Claim spoil if Wider Claim goes to lead? Doesn't Christian just then pop off and then get in the OSL spot and still win?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I think it might have won easier.
It may have, but
because it had to put up with Deanie there.
Basically, why the move for difficult to get was because Clear the Beach drew 1. So straight away,
no,
you know, it's like Slumber Party.
No, and also Rockefeller was.
Yeah. So there was a give in the market. There was a give in the market.
It's like Betfair. If something firms on Betfair, the rest get out, and it's just this concertina effect. So all you people out there, if you want to start punting, go home and buy yourself a set of Lego, big set, and then just put all the blocks together, a little $5 bet, and send yourself like me. It's fucking torture.
I'm not getting the analogy there. What's that got to do with it?
It's all betting. It's all different pieces.
He's just saying that
you're trying to build a bank.
Saying there's 10% gone here, so you've got to use those blocks somewhere else.
The visual effect of it being in blocks.
The building can still stand up if all these pieces are missing, and you're going to rebuild here.
Yeah.
Don't you understand that? It's all patterns.
I just take notes, but anyway.
Yeah, I just play with Lego while I'm walling. Yeah. Lego when you're walling, it's enormous. I still got my Lego from when I was a kid.
Do you play with the big baby blocks?
The Duplo? No. Hard. They're for real fucking 50-cent punters.
All right, now, everyone's been waiting. Unfortunately, they had to wait 15 minutes into the show before they get their piece of flesh. Interesting race 3 coming up. This is a tweet. Rant crew all over Insensata. Mark's Man Crush O'Sully rates it an $8 lay. Hashtag opinions, hashtag great game. Daniel O'Sullivan, who specialises in backing horses up on the speed, made a point of making Insensata a lay of the day of some sort.
Well, it turns out he was right.
And
it never looked like winning.
The betting was all one way.
$2.80, $4.40 Rob Boardhouse at the jump.
And yeah,
fair,
it was 5+ on the fair at the finish, and never in the race. Now I will say that they've sort of walked in front. Arbeitsam's come back from 1800, controlled the speed, and still had the dash. The Pharaoh was second all the way, and Reach for Heaven pinched a couple of positions on the turn.
Gave itself up forever.
Evan gave itself up forever.
It's got life.
The caller also gave himself up forever. They jumped, and there's Arbeitsam going to the lead, and Cosmic Engine, straight into second. When it was the Pharaoh. It was the Pharaoh.
Yeah.
It was the Pharaoh. So I'm waiting for those Betfair players to maybe the fix is in. Daniel O'Sullivan, Daniel Palini tweeted, bring Kathy back. Hashtag took no part in Sensata.
Oh, really?
And Wagering Friend tweeted, how's the dynamic duo coping?
I mean you and me.
I
mean you.
And then Mitch, how smelly was Insensata on the fair? Fixed odds drift with 10 to go on the tab put me off. Well, you were lucky, Mitch. Aaron Kirk said, I love it when Mark tries to mess with the Glenster and Gordo's thought process and then tips the same horse. Adds to the value of the preview show.
Happens a bit too.
Happens a lot. Yeah, we go.
Well, I will say, look,
how'd you like 2? How'd you like 2? How'd you like 2? What do you like, Mike? I like 2. What the fuck is that?
So I marked Insensata 5-2 and Arbeitsam 5-2 and stupidly failed to back Arbeitsam at the $4.
The only thing I'm taking out of that race is I'm gonna have a second look at Waterhouse horses back in distance where they're going to get the lead easily. I think it might be a winning combination.
Well, I also mentioned on the previous show that Frespinol did exactly the same thing, came back from 1800 to win at 1400 at the Kensington, and I was strongly against it then. And then after that, I thought, wow, she's made a point of that. It's just not a back in distance because there's nothing on the program. She accepted in a 14 and a 2000, and 15 and a 2000, 14 and a 2000. And she deliberately chose the 14, and you don't second guess Gay in those circumstances.
Too good to go.
The Pharaoh is now fourth up, will be fourth up, he was third up there, yeah, fourth up next time, but probably PR'd there, did he, Glenn?
Yeah, he did.
Reach for Heaven, you've said given up for all time. Cosmic Engine.
He gave himself up.
Yeah, that was terrible. Cosmic Engine was okay.
Star of Monsoon was the one that was sensationally back in the ring from $17 into 11s at one stage and sat in an awful spot, finished off, run last. I kind of liked it and I marked it 50s.
Is this the horse that's been up the longest ever in the Gerald Ryan stable?
Star of Monsoon. I suppose so. He came back in March.
He's a real big doer, so I'm tipping he eats really well. He's a funny horse, isn't he?
The country race. First of all, we had the Friday situation where Nick's Vendetta tactics change was to seek cover, and straight away on Twitter it said that horse may have other ideas. Up to 1500, R King will have her work cut out getting Nick to settle. Easy lead Rose Hill, why change? Which is exactly what happened. The horse tried to get into one out, one back, pulled so hard, just ended up outside the lead, and really
ruined its chances.
Another tweet.
Stuart's going to talk to D. Payne about why was Colesberg, who's a 2-year-old, is having a third star, why was there a change in tactics? When they approached the Stuarts for change in tactics and Nick's Vendetta, they really should have enough form to go, listen, we don't want you doing that.
Yeah. Well, it's just stupid.
That's a good idea, but don't do it.
I thought it was weird that after the announcement, it didn't blow considerably.
Well, you still, like, part of you still just expecting that it'll all be ignored.
Because also they've made that announcement, but the minute it was in that spot in the run, you thought, oh, it's a Minions.
Yeah, just heard them say Nick's Vendetta to be ridden with cover. Idiots on Twitter.
I love Twitter. I love the short commentary on Twitter. People
it's punchy,
really,
isn't it?
Oh, they bag everyone a bit more on Twitter, including us, which I like. Because we get a lot of love from the emails.
It's the old thing with trainers. Oh, it's up in distance. We need to ride it soft.
Trainers should concentrate on training horses, and they should all have profile punters doing like
telling them where to be.
or the form thing and telling them how to handle it. I know Abdullah's had the best year of his life after employing someone to help him with how to do the form and how to read races.
Yep.
You know, it's all right to get jockey managers. What do? They sit at home, get the acceptances, ring around and talk to trainers like everyone like with their tongues out, trying to get their and most of them have 3 or 4 riders, which is just the hottest thing ever.
Isn't it their job to do that role as well? You just don't have a manager anymore. You have to. The manager must do the form.
I think the big stables should have blokes who can do the form.
Well, while ago.
Well, for example, Peter Barrett was doing the form for
Ingham's.
For
years.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I'm sure they are.
Well, who's Huey's manager? Hoskins or Haskins? Or
Yeah, Brian.
Cheers.
Well, he does form, doesn't
Yeah.
he? Yeah.
I suppose he does, but you know, does he do it any good? Just sit around here. I suppose he does it all right. I don't know. Yeah, he's a smart enough bloke. I suppose he does it good enough, but I don't know, like just someone to really. Oh, I don't know.
Anyway,
forget what
that's Nick's Vendetta. We had the classic case of seeing the great H. Bowman when he is on a horse trap wide. You do not worry one iota.
No,
man, that guy balances his horses so beautifully when they're trapped wide.
In fact, you almost want to be trapped wide more than you want to get in the PR.
Almost.
He's Jay Cassidy did the same thing.
Yeah.
A long time, and now he's in that category.
I think it helps when you're 10 lengths better than anything else in the
Well, it was a pretty impressive win, I have to say. A pretty impressive win.
Shit him.
far superior.
And Kathy was doing her thing on Shadana, making sure that her punters were let down again.
She lost a bit of form, Kath, hasn't she?
The fillies race, and Glenn, you mentioned it on the Friday show about Seareath being Brad Widdup's brother-in-law, and I must say I was very pleased for Christian to see, because you know he's got the talent, but it's always tricky for him.
Yeah, Christian.
A couple of wins on a Saturday could really see him improve in the near future.
And I'm cheering that because he always seems to be in a price range I'm involved in. He reminds me a bit of me, Christian Reeve. Just so disappointing in life. But like bit of ability,
The disappointing thing was
like Christian.
The disappointing thing was for those backers of Slumber Party to see her a length in front of suspenders just past the post. I mean, Slumber Party was heavily disadvantaged by her draw.
I mentioned on the show on Friday, she's got chinks. She's a funny horse.
She was probably the run of the race. And
chink there.
On Slumber Party?
Yeah.
Just her record, her racing style. She's won 1 race.
I don't know. They went crackerjack pace
because she was trying to keep out. She was trying to get the lead.
And then Gum's trying to get 3 off the fence from barrier 1, which I thought was a good play.
And got beaten by a nose, you know, by a horse that just got.
Yeah, I'd be happy to be on Slumber Party next time.
Okay.
Faith Encore, absolute life. Can't take part of the race.
Glenn. Come on. Next start Glenn off. You want to be on it?
No, I do not, because this horse has not taken part.
Exactly.
I agree.
Yeah, but not taking part because it,
Oh, you mean by form, do you, Mark? Oh, yeah, well, that's what I was talking about too. Bad Glyn. Come on. Next start, Glyn off or good Glyn.
all right, we better have an even billion there.
Yes, you
One
should.
day going to take it even.
Yeah.
I'll get better odds than that. But I'll bet you, I'll take an even B and it wins his prep.
Okay,
That's fair.
right.
That's fair.
That's on. And the amazing
You
and
won't
the
be running around a cartoon for an amazing really.
What about Mark? Took no part. I go, yep, that's right. It was just bang, bag, Glyn, shuffle bag.
no, but it wasn't. Like she couldn't actually take part in the race, is what I'm arguing.
And she did it first start as well.
Glyn.
What about the plunge on I'm Imogen? What was that all about?
Well, Kingsley wanted to back it. It was in the market. He wants to back it again. It's in the $6. I marked it. I'm embarrassed to say what I marked it.
I marked it 33s or
I
something.
marked it 80s.
Yeah.
Kingsley's taken $6.
didn't have any.
You've marked it 80s. You go, Kingsley, you must be a fucking retard. You're an idiot. And then you go, oh, hang on, he's got an $11 million home at Central Park, and I'm 15 weeks
Queen's
behind
Park, that
in
is.
rent. And you just, it's what a great game that you can look at a bloke so credible and just think, fuck, you make big mistakes.
Well, it's good for everybody out there.
Oh!
You guys are making money, and there's plenty of angles for you to make money as well.
You can chip away. He backed one last week. Everywhere in the ring, was it down the bottom? Some piece of shit from Mudgee. Artistic beauty.
Yeah, at Canterbury on
I
Wednesday.
marked it 25s.
1900 metre race.
Completely right.
Went back to last, stayed last.
There's the big boys, Kings, all of everyone clambering at the 460.
Can't run 9 hours.
It's all going to turn, Kings. You'll be renting in 2 years, and I'll own your joint.
Anyway, it's good for
And
the
I'll
game.
still be proud of him.
It's great for the game.
Yeah.
What a champion.
Yeah, no,
Champion opinion.
really nothing to say about that race. The 2,000 metre race, we
I
had.
talked to Nick when Nick goes, I go, fucking really? You must be a fucking imbecile. And then he, as I'm at the bus stop, he goes past me in his Lamborghini, and you go, oh yeah.
I know, but Glenn, we all have tons of losing bets. And
No, but sometimes I can't
and
understand any of their bets.
subset of those losing bets must be bad bets.
I still can't believe that I'm Imogen starts $6. That was outrageous. I mean, if someone starts $6 and I'd hate it, I'm going to make it 16. So I go look at it. You put 33s next, I put 80s. I mean, the only price I know, but fine.
Well, it just didn't appear to have any. You know, it's been winning at 9.50.
It's a piece of rubbish.
Look, I suppose it had been to town once before in the Furious Stakes, not the Furious Stakes.
I marked them 5-2 slumber party, 5-2 face encore, 5 suspenders.
You did well.
But there was 3 runners.
Yeah, you're right.
And they ran the try, and the only reason the third one got in the try. Glenn.
Right, now we're back on Kathy again in the staying race because good old Ashcan.
Been a lot of emails about this. A lot of texts and
So you
tweets.
read the steward's report and they're just totally accepting, oh, the horse was pulling hard, so she just let it, you know, it's like she went up there to make life for Brian's life a bit tougher.
Just before we get onto this, because we're going to talk about Waller here, everyone out there, I saw about 3 this morning, there's some cult going around Sydney. Keep your eye out for it. I don't know what it is. Black cars. What's Waller got? Black car. Number plate, CAD. Waller's got CAD, but there's a stack of them. I don't know what it means.
Right, I don't know. It's a
It's
mafia.
not Chris Waller,
It's like a
it's CAD.
mafia.
It's some, I'm telling you, it's like some secret cult for rich. They're all black cars, all nice cars.
It's the Freemasons.
It's a fucking, I don't know what.
they have meetings
Fucking
with like
cock-
robes.
Cockheads After Dark or something. I don't know what it is, but it's CAD. Email us back in, see if you've seen a lot of CADs. Tell me what it means. I don't know what it means.
CAD is negative.
CAD.
To be a CAD is to mark.
Oh, yeah, it's a sort of an English
Oh,
gentleman term where if the gentleman's a cad, then he's no good.
yeah.
Like he might rob you, or he might.
So he's not a
or he might run off.
It's quite apt, isn't it?
Right, and run off with your daughter.
Well,
or
Waller's
something
got
like that.
CAD. I mean,
Yeah,
that's my first. I thought, I remember I saw it about a year ago. I thought, I wonder why Chris would not have like CAW or something, Chris Anthony Waller or whatever. And now I see him everywhere. I saw 2 this morning. 2 black cars with CAD. Are they like?
Please, someone.
Are they like
Viewers,
that
one of our
show?
viewers,
What's that,
answer.
like Men in Black?
Oh, okay.
Maybe Waller's a Martian. An intergalactic traveller
Warrior.
that's come here to get a
Warrior.
bag training horses.
All right,
Maybe
so
puts intergalactic juice into the fucking thing.
okay, so Vaucluse Bay's PR'd, but he's pissed in.
Pissed him. See Brown on the inside, just trucking. Now, another quick little thing about this thing is, I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but I had a little tap on the shoulder about our race caller calling races I don't know. I can't know how I can put it. He said, here comes Zork, and he's put Vaucluse Bay in a pocket. Well, instantly Vaucluse Bay's going to blow on the ferry and run, and then all of a sudden Zorkan, it was 4 wide, was completely crippled, going nowhere, and then by the time he mentioned Vaucluse Bay, it was 3 in front.
Oh, he said Awoke was hard at it on the turn in her race when she was just positioning herself to make a run.
He's not an in-play player, is he?
Maybe.
Can you call a race and bet and play?
Look, what are we going to do with these horses? Zorkan came up here off a spell.
The 49
How
days.
did he look?
He looked well, only about 4.
And Magical Stance had a break between runs.
Magical Stance, a bigger belly. It's a big horse. It had another 20 kilos on it. And there was a horse during the week in the last race at Canterbury, trained by Ronnie Quinton, an I Am Invincible type thing. What's it called?
Not Most Rake.
No. Talented horse in the last at Canterbury on Wednesday. It ran about 6. I marked it favourite. It was $21. I marked it 5.
Oh, yeah, it was resuming. Sorry. Yes,
resuming.
I know the horse.
Its belly was scraping along the ground as it walked. So Ronnie's horses are just being fed and fed and fed. Someone's triple feeding them and forgetting to work them. I'm telling you, be very wary of RQ at the moment, and come out the track if you want to have your last on RQ and ask me what I think, because even you'll look at it and go, wow, plenty of belly on RQ at the moment.
Now, the Ho-Hum race, which is the last race we'll talk about.
But we didn't talk about Ashcan here with Kathy taking off.
We did, but sorry, it didn't go on with it.
Kathy just took off, attacked Life of Brian, put it to the sword a little bit, and then drops out and runs last, and the stablemate, well back out of the 5 runners, wins the race.
So the last time that happened, well, not the last time it happened, but one of the times it happened, Zorkan was actually involved, and Zorkan was the one up tackling that horse of Chris Lee's at the 1900 Gord. You remember the race because you were involved in Beretta's race. Beretta heavily backed. Zorkan rushes up outside the lead mid-race and takes it on, and there was C. Waller's horse, the winner, also trained by Waller. I'm surprised that
I got catted.
Yeah, you did. You got catted.
Yeah,
what do we do, Glenn?
Well, I don't know. The problem we've got here is that C. Waller's got 6 of the 10 runners. So no matter how the race sort of pans out, you're going to always think, oh, look how that one's done that. That's a stablemate. Well, the problem is you've got 6 of them. You've got 4 left.
And they're all trying to get, well, half of them are trying to get fit for a 2,400 metre race.
Because I know Snowy tweeted a hashtag, I don't know, the one for the team, or everyone tweets about it.
Yeah, I know.
But I don't think as much as stewards can do, and I'm not sure it's Chris's fault. It's just the way. And if you look at the other runners, you've got more than Fabius, so D Payne, so a pen job. You've got Gary Fraser trains Go Benny. Well, it's going well, but it's Gary Fraser.
And also 2,000 metres
Ronnie
bottom distance.
460 kilos of oats this week and forgot to work it. And that left you with Life of O'Brien. It's the one that probably should have won the race against the 6 Waller horses.
Got beaten 4.
But I'm just saying it's uncompetitive racing when you got. They're real cads, these horses, I'm telling you.
Yeah, no, the tweet I saw was nice team ride by Kath on Ashcan, hashtag green light, alive and well.
It does seem to. It has that whiff of it.
Well, the whiff that happening doesn't bother me at all. The fact that it was so heavily backed.
Who?
Vaucluse Bay.
But the fellas just really clever.
So heavily backed. When was it?
What did you price?
When was it heavily backed? It was 360 at the death.
But how did they? It should have been longer than that, Mark. Like it has to be 4 to 1.
What? Why?
How much?
It's beaten R Bitesome. And I'm looking at the form before the race. I'm going, I've underrated this horse because I've forgotten that its wet track runs needed to be ignored. And as soon as it got back on top of the ground, it was displaying its talent.
I was very confused about its price.
Anyway, Shiraz, we get to the race where they all came out of, and the one horse that got the PR won the race.
Yeah, well, it's. I mean, Shiraz had been racing as well as he could, and he was there. Classic uniform, was going to do his thing.
Overachieved. It's a really good horse, classic uniform.
Yeah, well, it's got something to offer because it's only had 2 runs back.
Slightly Sweet. The only thing that was confusing about Slightly Sweet was the fact that Billy Murphy put up $21 and $6 a place. I don't know how it could win the lead up and go up 20s. And ran third after a little check. Wouldn't have won.
Yeah.
Ran a really honest race. And the rest, do we need to talk about any of them?
No. Gold Symphony is surely spell now. And
I told you the cab would put Avdullah on one, Leo Parry would have a flat tyre. Said that in the Friday show. What were we right? He said, "I'll look solid lady. I'll put him in Leo Parry. It's completely fucked. So he can't, my man Huey will still win. And then if he is coming to the last, he's need 1 win away, we'll scratch Awoke." Well, he let, like, and, you know, look, I give you a couple of good rides there, Brent. And I looked after you. I said on the Friday show, Leopardi will be as flat as a tack because the fact you put the gun on it, told you. It's run 11th of 11th. Don't forget to watch the previous shows. Your only hope, bar mounting Albemarle, which you cannot breathe without. What a fucking game.
What a great game. That's the end of part 1.